I just wanted to ask a few questions about some other nonprofits in skating and stuff. Do you think there are too many?
No, not at all. I think you have to think about like nonprofit. It always has a mission, if you're doing it right, I guess. And so everyone's mission is a little different.
Mm-hmm.
So our mission has 3 pillars to it. We've also been around for 25 years. So I was mentoring a lot of like grassroots nonprofit, and some of the folks are like, well, should we get 501c3 status? I was like, no, like you just want to do meetups and keep it chill because you don't know if you want to make skateboarding your whole freaking life.
Mm-hmm.
Then get an LLC so you can write off business stuff, and then you're good to go. And then you can dissolve the business, and both of you can, if you have money, you can like, split it. But like I said, like everyone, like I tell people, don't compare yourself to like Skate Like a Girl or even like, what's it called? The Skate Park Project. Cause they've been around for a long time. They have different backings too, but their whole mission right now or has been like building skate parks. So that's like very focused. And then maybe there's like, it was really cool at Slow Impact, and I'm not going to remember off the top of my head, but I did meet a bunch of folks on the East Coast that had like really cool little nonprofits, but they were just for their small community. No, there's not enough.
Hey everyone, welcome back to OK Last Try. Today we got a special guest with us. I'm joined by Sima Safavi-Bayat. Hell yeah, dude. I had to, usually I like making eye contact, but I had to read that one. Sorry, a little slow on that. Sima is the director of partnership for Skate Like a Girl, and also a New Yorker, kind of.
I haven't put my 10 years in.
No?
So no.
All right.
Yeah, I won't claim it.
So where are you from originally?
I'm from Washington State, from this little burb called Mukilteo, Washington. Have you ever heard of like North End Skate Shop or
No.
Skate Rats?
Okay, yes.
There
we go. That's it. That's all I needed to know.
So I'm kind of that from that area, and also lived in Portland for school, so Northwest for sure. And then I moved out to New York 3 years ago.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Did you ever live in Seattle at all?
No, but I would visit. That's where like my skate journey really started, was in Seattle. But yeah, I'm from the burbs.
All right. Yeah, because I was reading up. You've done stuff with like 35th North and stuff in the past.
Yeah.
Coolest shop there is, I think.
Yeah, it's the best. Shout out Tony.
Yeah.
Tony.
I think out of all the shops that I visited in my life, that was like the coolest one to just. And I was by myself. I just stepped in. Everyone was super nice.
Yep.
I was like, yo, where do I go skate? And they told me where to go.
Yeah.
And it was cool. Yeah. That was maybe the coolest shop I've been to.
They're so sweet. And like, I think y'all kind of got a little taste, I think, of All City Showdown too, right? In New York?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So Tony started that with the Seattle crew, and it was really cool because then it like kind of blew up like once cons came. And so it was like All City Showdown Chicago, All City Showdown New York. Yeah. But it was cool because like All City Showdown was like anytime I met anyone from out of state, I'd be like, I'm not a street skater, but like these are the spots.
Yeah.
And you add like, tell me like where you want to go, because these are the federal ledges. This is like the Greenpoint Hubba. Like here's a clip. Like it's so sick. Yeah.
I think that helped for traveling. For traveling skaters, like you go on a trip, you just watch one of those videos, you're like, oh, I'm gonna go skate those spots.
Totally. I think also because like the Northwest is so well known just for my like transition and skate parks that like 35th being there and like All City Showdown like made it more of like a destination to go and skate spots too, because that shit's like crusty.
Yeah,
because I was in All City Showdown one year, and it's over 10 years ago with Samaria Brevard when she was like on the come up with the Skate Witches, and she skated this Northgate Hubba or rail, and it was cool because she just like front boarded it, didn't like, we just cleaned the landing. And then I remember a few months later I saw King of the Road, and I think it was a Toy Machine crew, and they like bondoed it, and I was like,
yeah,
you
get
LA
out of here,
fuckers.
man. LA dudes love bondo and shit, man. Funny story about Samaria. I interviewed her, or tried interviewing her one time, and we talked for maybe like 15 minutes on the phone, and at a certain point Samaria was just like, hey, I'm kind of too high for this, and just hung up, and that was it. There was no more communication after that. That was it. It was just a dead end. I was like, all right,
dude.
man.
Yeah, she's great. Like, that was definitely a different era for Samaria. Let's be really clear. She's on like,
this is like 2018, 2019. This is a long time ago for sure.
Yeah.
But that always stuck with me because I'm a big fan of her skating, but that always cracked me up. I was like, It was very real, because it's better that she didn't do like a whole 2-hour phone call with me and then say like, oh, I don't like that, let's end it. No, 15 minutes. It was all good. She's like, hey, I'm too high, I'm done. I was like, dude, sounds good, man.
I love that.
So going back, how did you like get into skating and stuff?
So I'm, like I said, I'm from the burbs, small, like fairy town. I didn't really fit in, and I really loved Rage Against the Machine, and no other girls really liked that stuff in my school, but the only people that did were skaters. So I hung out with skaters a lot in middle school, and then in high school was kicking it with more like skaters. Like I met Nolan Model, who lives out here now. He does Park Chop Brand, which was really sick, and he's an Edmonds kid, so also a suburb kid. And I would just hang out at skate parks, and I would like take photos, because I like had my camera, and I like started learning, because I was a snowboarder too, so like the culture was kind of, you know, mixed in. And then Kristen Ebeling, who is currently the ED for Skate Like a Girl, she was the program manager at the YMCA skate park in Mukilteo, and I would start kicking it there, because like I don't know, just it was right down the street. And she was like, yo, don't you want to skate? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'm kind of scared. Like, I'm scared to get on a board. She's like, it's crazy. I work for this thing, or I volunteer for this nonprofit called Skate Like a Girl, and we have like sessions in Bellevue indoor. I was like, I'm down. Yeah. So I started skating with her, and the pipeline was pretty quick. Like I went from like skating to volunteering. I like volunteered at WAF that year, 2014, and then went from coaching that summer.
Oh shit.
And then just started working at a skate shop, had that show. But I've always been around skaters. They're like kind of the only people that like got me. And it's so cliche to say, but like skateboarding definitely saved my life. And not just like the act of it, but like the culture and the social
being
aspect.
around it. Yeah.
So yeah, interesting. Like now 20 years later, I'm like making money in it, and like I don't know how to kick flip, so I you know, sometimes a lot of imposter syndrome there, but yeah.
I don't know, there's people who are I've met in skating who work for gigantic brands who they're just as much of a skater as like any other person there, but they're not good at skating. Yeah. And it doesn't matter. It's all about just being there, you know? Like, I think it's just more about being around more so than like being good at skating.
Yeah.
If you're like around and hanging out, it's always just been like my social like safety net. No matter what, I'm like
90% of skateboarding is sitting. Like you're like hanging out with your friends.
It's sitting down, smoking a bunch of cigs, maybe drinking a beer or two, and then going home and eating food. That's exactly. Like it. That's why I've done it forever.
Yeah.
You don't have to like plan anything really. You just show up and start skating.
For sure. No, I love it. So
meet a bunch of new people all the time. Like that's been my favorite part, is just meeting everybody, you know, and I'm sure you've gotten to do that through like coaching, working with Skate Like a Girl.
Yeah.
Traveling as much as you do. Like I'm sure just meeting people is like the coolest part.
It is. It's funny because like a lot of people don't know this, but people are like, oh, like everyone, you know so many people. And it's funny.
We were saying that beforehand. We literally said the same thing.
I know. I've never been on Long Island, and I love all my friends from Long Island.
So you know, like so many people that John and I like
grew up
skate with, have known for years and shit, and they're just like, oh yeah, we know Sima. I'm like, dude, how the fuck? Thomas was here. He's like, you got to interview Sima. I'm like, how the fuck does everyone know this girl Sima? Who is she?
Well, it's funny because like for me, this is kind of deep, but a lot of people don't know this, but in like elementary school, like I said, small burb, like immigrant parents. My dad's from Iran, my mom's from Indonesia. They're kind of strict. They're cool though. And I, was more of a dancer. I like did competitive dance for 12 years, like was into hip hop and like loved snowboarding, did all this stuff kind of on my own, but I didn't have any friends, which is crazy now. Cause like I'll walk and like, I'll see people I know like in multiple cities, but it's crazy. Cause like, that's where, like, for one, that's why I say skateboarding saved my life. Because, like, the homies that I did have, maybe not so deep, like friendship level, that, like, but would give me the time of day were the skaters. Like, this is kind of crass, but it's an interview. But, like, I got bullied so bad, like, people were texting me to kill myself.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And then I was like, Nah.
You're like, nah.
No,
I'm just gonna go skate instead.
I'm just like keep hanging out. But
I'm just gonna keep hanging out.
And I made it to 30, so fuck you. But what I mean is though, like I also like, so people question like, how do you know so many people? I don't have clout, dude. Like it's not like I'm not an influencer. I'm not myself like a big skater. Like I'm not a street skater. I'm not like working at a brand. Obviously Skate Like a Girl is stunning, but like that doesn't give you like, you know, clout like in that sense. And I'm not like rich. I can't like, you know, I'm not like a model. Like I don't really have, and not to say that's a bad or good thing. I'm just saying I don't have anything to like give back in that sense where like people like want to hang out around you because you're a celebrity. But it took work. Like when I moved to Portland and I really wanted to be in the skateboarding scene there, I was like, okay, I'm going to go to every premiere, whether it's with like the homegirl or by myself.
Yeah.
And I know I'm a girl and I know it's like people are like, what the fuck is she doing here? But I would just introduce myself to everyone. And then I'd go to everything. So they start like, oh, what's up? Like, and then another thing too that I did that does work is like, I would introduce myself to multiple people or like the same person. The third time, if they like, I think they're pretending not to know me, I'd be like, yo, like, you know who I am. Yeah. And they're like,
oh, you would call them out
but with kindness. Just like, dude, come on. Like, I've seen you so many times. And that actually happened to me recently for my homie Jordan's like mag open. Like this person was like, you know who I am. And I was like, I'm so sorry, dude. Like I feel, and I thought about it all week. I felt like such a fucking asshole because
the tables turned.
It was really bad. But I'm like, they didn't really know me that well. So I'm like, I don't think you realize I do kind of meet a lot of people in higher volumes. But like, oh my God. And I was like, I'm really sorry. Are you still skating? And they're like, and I'm like, I'm glad that you're not like letting me get away with this because that's really rude. So I felt bad. But yeah.
That happened a lot. Like I would do the same thing when I started working for Jankum. Like I would just go to every premiere, everything that was happening. And sometimes Ian and Alexis would be there, which was easy because I worked with them and it was just my homies. Yeah. But other times they wouldn't be going and I'd be like, oh, I still want to go, whatever. Dude, I would meet people 4 or 5 times and they'd be like, yo, what's up? I'm so-and-so. And I'm like, dog, I just met you last week at the same bar we're at right now, watching the same crew of skaters and almost the same video. I met you right here. Yeah. But I think
what the key for me that, because a lot of, I don't want to say maybe like 10 years ago, the scope of women's skateboarding and non-traditional skateboarding was so different. Remember when I started actually skating in Seattle? So I'm getting into it. I have that show, which I just went up to, I'm pretty sure I just emailed Sasha Barr and Tony was like, hey, like, I already talked to Dane and this, like a group of dudes that, you know, are down to have a photo show. Like, can I have one? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like 19. I'm like, okay. And I was just skated for 6 months. The whole premise of that show for me though was my friend Edgar is from Bothell, which is another suburb. Stunning film photographer, stunning skater. Like the definition of Seattle wobble. Like had maybe 3 bolts on his board. His his trucks would shake, and the reason why my trucks are so loose is because I skated with him. So
you hear them rattling.
It's really bad. One time they fell off. Anyway, and he had social anxiety because he's a skateboarder and he smoked a lot of weed. And I was like, what if I like put a whole show around your art? Like, would you be in it? Would you, you know? And he's like, yeah, for sure. And remember the night of the opening, he didn't even come. So it's fine. And I remember
that's so sick.
I remember like Tony's like, I'm gonna go get beer. Like, can you watch the shop? And I sold like $200 worth of stuff. I was like, for sure. But one of the things that really helped me like figure out like how to be like friends with everyone and like, cause like it's intimidating when, especially anyone, like imagine like being like 25 unit as a dude starting to skate and it's like all these like maybe you have like tattooed, you know, dudes at the park like ripping and like, you know, it's like scary because you're like falling. Like half of it is falling.
There's no like barrier to entry to skating in terms of like it's a cheap to get into whatever, but the social barrier to enter skating,
it's really scary. And I remember like even when I started like skating that was like my first time in an adult life where I was like making guy friends like that were like actual my homies, and everyone's like, are you dating Kevin? I'm like, no, I'm not dating Kevin. I'm just like skating with him. Just hanging out. But what I realized is sometimes in the beginning I was like, why are these boys so mean to me? Like, why aren't they talking to me like I'm so nice? And then I figured out it's because they're really anxious and they're really high.
Yeah. Oh, all the time. That's
and I was like, and now that weed's legal, we're like, there's like you're adult now. You're like, maybe you shouldn't smoke weed. But once I figured that out, I was like, I'm just gonna still be bubbly and like still be annoying. I'm still gonna be annoying. Like technically, these guys are probably like, she's kind of annoying, but it worked because they'd see me at the premiere and like, who's the first person they're gonna say hi to? Yeah. That they know is gonna say hi to them was me. They're like, yo, and I'm like, what's up?
That's at premieres and stuff. Like I had Cole on, and it was always. I was always like, fuck, I'm not going to know anybody, blah, blah. But then I would see, like, Cole or whatever, the one familiar face. And I'd be like...
Exactly.
As long as I know, like, one person, I could bullshit with them for however long. Yeah. Watch the video, go home.
Yeah. I will say East Coast, West Coast people are a little more passive-aggressive and a little more chill. Yeah. We're, like, coming to New York, everyone was so down for each other. But, like... Yeah, the West Coast was a lot different. But the communities that we had, like OG Seattle days, OG Portland, like so sick.
I feel like a lot of people from Seattle end up leaving, though.
Yeah, they're all here.
Yeah.
I knew Troy Gibson when he was like, I would be coaching at, Jefferson Skate Park. And he was like 8 or 9 or 10, I don't remember. But he had to wear a helmet because his parents told him he had to. And he'd like be like, Sima, like, what's up? And now he's like, has his own spot in like the East Village or something.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
he's like a
the
super
nicest,
pro skater now.
Most humble, like, I'm like kind of like, I'm like big auntie where I'm like at a party with them. I'm like a little tipsy and I'm like, I'm just so proud of you. Like, I start crying and I'm like, I'm just so proud of you. And they're like, yeah, dude, for sure. Like, no, they get it. They're really sweet.
So after all that, then you started working with Skate Like a Girl. And how did that turn into just you volunteering to you being like a full member of the whole organization? It took a little bit. So
I did a couple summers in Seattle as a skate coach. And listen, like what you see now with Skate Like a Girl is like, I was driving myself in gear. I was like 18, 19, all the way from Mukilteo down to South Seattle for like 1 hour outreach program. I was getting paid like minimum wage, so like they got that. At the time Kristen just became the Seattle chapter director, like got a grant to do that. Super small. This is like 10 years ago.
Sorry for the question, but who started Skate Like a Girl?
Floor Larson and Holly Sheehan.
All right.
25 years ago in Olympia, Washington.
That's what I was going to ask, because I knew Kristen played a huge role in it. For some reason I had thought Kristen kind of started it, but
I would say that she took it to the next level. All right. With Nancy Chang. So Nancy Chang like helped make it become an official 501c3 in Seattle. So it moved from Olympia to Seattle, and then there was like satellite chapters in the Bay Area and Portland, but not like full-fledged. And then Nancy came in, had a really stunning like educational background and like has done work before and like took it to the next level. The one thing I will say that like Kristen founded was Wheels of Fortune.
All right. Yeah.
So that's like, that was her bread and butter because she was young, going to all these contests. There was like no, like they would just have the girls division at 10 a.m. and then like the purse prize was like not there. And at the same time, you got to realize too, like other things are happening outside of Skate Like a Girl in alignment with like the progression. So there's a bunch of OGs who are still around in our community that like, and that's like when I did the Nike Dunk Zine, like that was the first time I was like, oh, let's lay out the timeline but we'll lay out the timeline not only of Skate Like a Girl and even like all the assets and all the marketing stuff that we did in the past 2 months for the 25-year anniversary. We're like, listen, it wasn't just us. It was us plus like 10, 15 people. And like, I'm like not even 30 and I haven't been in skateboarding that long, but like there is a kind of gap between like the internet era of like skaters not knowing like who the OGs are. Like who really paved the way. But I think it's kind of coming back to that a little bit. The joke is though, like when we're looking at all the archival footage from 25 years ago, it's like everyone looks the same now. They're all dressed the same. It's like really funny. And they're like listening to the same music now or like similar music. But yeah, so I did that in Seattle. I actually worked at a skate shop called BC Surf and Sport.
Hell yeah.
I know there's some like in upstate too. I would actually sometimes have to call either the Buffalo store or the Albany store, I don't remember, and be like, hey, like, can you send me this like snowboard? Because like they did snowboard stuff too. So I worked at a skate shop. That was funny. And then when I turned 21, I was like, oh, I was in community college. And I was like, I need to finally go to university, I guess. So I went to Portland because I had a bunch of homies down there. Started so I started going to school for my environmental sciences, which is like so random, and then started coaching with Skate Like a Girl Portland. So I did a bunch of that. Also was like putting on art shows at Evo because I worked there, like still really in the skate community. And then 2020 rolled around. I graduated college. The world was up in flames. Yeah. And Skate Like Girl was like, listen, like you have been coaching with us for a long time. We have this AmeriCorps position that you can like coach virtually. Whoa. Would you want to do it? I'm like, yeah, of course. Like,
yeah, what the hell?
I'm super down. So and at that time, like that's when we started like working with Spitfire and stuff. So Skate Like a Girl was starting to like really, really grow.
Yeah, it fell more into the mainstream around that time.
Yeah, it was
sure.
crazy.
And that's also when Wheels of Fortune also started like becoming this massive thing that people would travel to.
2017 was the X Games qualifier.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's really when it started to take off.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, like I think like one of the first comps like Mariah Duran ever went to, or not went to, but like was kind of getting recognized. And I think that's when she got on Meow, I believe, was at Wheels of Fortune 2014, 15. It was,
oh shit, all right.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
So a lot of history there. And then we kept getting like federal money to be able to like, and then we started the Skateboarding Inclusivity Cooperative, or SIC, with Nike and Cons, which is basically we mentored other grassroots leader, because during 2020 a bunch of people started putting together their own crews. Yeah. They'd like email us like, when are you gonna start a Skate Like a Girl in Austin? I'm like, never. Like, this is not easy. But also Honey Skate Club's in Austin, there's already like, in New York, Bronx Girl Skate's already out there. Like, there's already people doing their work. I was going to ask
why there isn't a New York chapter, but that makes sense.
Because they're already out here. Yeah, also, like, listen, even though, like, I know a bunch of homies, even when I first moved here, because I knew Kava, I was doing that work. That's basically when I got the job. I wasn't going to go around and be like, well, I've been working in nonprofit forever. Like, you should listen to me. I don't know New York like that. Yeah, like, I'm not from here. I don't know the barriers for skating here either. Like, I don't know the history.
You don't want to just jump in and be like, let's do it this way.
Of course
not. Because then it's also going to rub people the wrong way, and they're going to be like, well, fuck this.
Yeah, and fuck you. Yeah. Like, there's no way. Like, so I just kept getting opportunities. I kept getting mentored. I was open to being mentored, and that's another thing too. Kim Muzi mentored me a ton in the partnerships department.
Yeah,
but
she's sick.
She's so sick. But the thing is that a lot of people don't know is, like, before I started working at Skate Like a Girl, I was already doing partnership stuff on my own. Like, when I was doing, so there's this spot called Da Vinci in Portland, which is like a schoolyard that everyone skated. And that's how I got to know a bunch of these like dudes, because they're like, no girls are coming. You should bring them. I'm like, okay, I'll try. And
is that the one with like the maroon and white ledges or whatever?
No, that's Lincoln.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Lincoln High School. No, it's just a schoolyard, and like, during the summers, like, they're out of school, so we were able to skate it. And there's a lot of history there too. So, but there was a crew that did Flat Ground Fridays, and I never skated street. And so one day my homie called me. He's like, come hang out. I'm like, okay. And I actually have a photo. Like, my friend Adam from Arizona was in town, and we went. I have a photo from the first day I went. I was like, wait, everyone's so nice. It was like the older heads. And I like was like, I guess I'll like learn how to no comply now, finally, with like my 8.5 board and like my heavy independent trucks, and like struggling, but it was fun. So I kept bringing my girls to that too. And so then people kept coming. And then 2019, I had a Da Vinci Social Club like art show at Evo, which is so sick. I got Jack Graydon. He was living in SF for a minute, and I was like, hey, I think Evo's down to pay you to paint a mural. Are you gonna come back up? He's like, yeah, for sure. I'm like, sick. And there was like the ramp in there. It was like really stunning. And then, but I was met with the PAPS rep, and I got them to sponsor. I always had sponsors.
Yeah.
So I was already kind of doing that on my own. Like,
so you have people. You already had the connections.
I had connections
with all these brands.
I was like, listen, like, your logo is on the flyer. We will tag you. Like, don't worry, I got you. And they're like, okay.
There'll be a bunch of pictures of people drinking your beer.
Exactly. So then I just got I kept getting opportunities and kept taking them. And then my job with SIC, or like that role as an org-wide program, like that program manager role, was remote. So that's when I moved here. And then Kim finally left Skate Like a Girl, because she's been in the industry forever, right? With Mafia and everything. So she's like, I got to pivot. And then she's like, you're kind of the next best person. Like, I've trained you to do this. Yeah. And so I became the partnerships director only a year ago.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's been cool. Like,
that's, because when I was talking to Thomas, he was like, you got to interview Sima. Yeah. So I was like, all right, what does she do? He's like, basically she does what I do for Jankum, but for Skate Like a Girl.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, perfect.
Yeah. So I do partnerships. So I help out like the Spitfire reel that's coming out. I help out with the design.
Yeah, I wanted to talk
the marketing.
About that. That seems really. Isn't it dropping like
in like a week?
Yeah. Because I keep seeing the flyer pop up for it.
I'm
everywhere.
so stoked. The first project where Kim kind of brought me in on was the zine though for a dunk. So I wasn't on the design process, but all of a sudden Kim's like, yeah, we're having a dunk. And I'm like, we're having a dunk? Like, okay, sure. And she's like, do you want to do the marketing material for it? Like, we're going to be at overnight camp, like, and Kristen's going to be busy. Like, everyone's going to be busy. And I'm like, yeah, I guess. And so me and a bunch of people, I was a chief editor, I guess, like, whatever. I had to Google. I'm like, what do you call someone who, like, helps with the editing, manages the people? Because I'm not in that world. Yeah, and it was editor-in-chief. And then we did it in a month.
You put that together in a month?
Yeah. It was crazy.
All the photos.
Shout out Shari White, who did the layout stuff too.
Big fan.
All the photos. No, we had a whole team that was like, got all the photos from the archives, like went through the copy editing, but we did that in a month. And I like remember like
crazy.
One of my favorite parts though was getting on a call with like the Euro, like Nike SB shops that were gonna like have the zines because it was exclusive at the time, and they were so excited and just like talking about it. And shout out Color Skate Shop in Athens because they get down. they took prints of the zine and like put it on a box. Like they did more than we did. And I was like,
they really blew it up.
They blew it up.
That's
it was
awesome.
So sick. But yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about the zine too. I'm a big fan of zines. I've always been. Like print media and skating is like what I grew up looking at. It's what always got me excited.
Yep.
Working at Jankum, people would send us their zines all the time, or we'd talk to people. What made you want to do a zine for the dunk? Like
when me, Kim, and Kristen were kind of ideating, we're like, listen, like, where were our roots? Like, Skate Like a Girl's roots. Skate Like a Girl's roots 25 years ago was very in the Riot Girl era. Super DIY.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's just put a zine together. It's accessible. We can tell stories of the people that are behind Skate Like a Girl. And it kind of took us out of, like, we also did a video piece called Transcenders, which was really cool. But, we could have gone the, like, traditional route of just having a party but we're not a brand.
Yeah.
We're a nonprofit. Yeah. We're a community nonprofit. And I'm like, how do we tell stories? And the zine was there. And, like, I'm the same way as you. When I was so back in the day, Instagram was sick. You got to know and there's a group of maybe 30 to 40, 50, let's say 100 non-trad skaters that were just starting to skate, getting on Instagram. And we started we didn't even know each other. Like, some of them lived in Arizona. Some of them, like Cassie Osuerga, I butchered her name, but she's the, she does marketing now for Independent, and she was part of Santa Cruz Lady Lurkers. They were like a big crew of girls, and they were kind of popping off in Santa Cruz. And her and I became internet friends and finally met. So, like, we had a lot of internet friends. So I'm from that era. Like, Deanna Musa from Double Down in SF, she started working at Low Card, and I met her on Tumblr. Damn. But back in the day, like, I met all these other like girls through skating, and we started doing like trades. Like, we would like send each other like stickers from the shop or like zines. And there was even a zine I was in called Not Shit out of like Oakland SF that this girl Chelsea did. And that was so sick. We was like we were still DIY, like Skate Witches, like all this stuff. Like Skate Witches was like OG, like, like Kristen and Shari really put that stuff on the map. Like
Shari White is maybe like top tier skate filmers and video
they
creators.
Put me in the zine. I was like 19. I was like, okay, for sure. Thank you so much. And like now it's crazy to get to still work with her at a different capacity. That's the thing, is like the traditional world also, you have all these people who are like, yeah, I knew him back in the day. And I'm getting to a point where I'm like, yeah, I knew Shari like 10 years ago. Like, same with Fabi. And I'm seeing them now. Like, this is crazy. Yeah, like
now they're...
I know the younger people are like, like, I don't know. It's like, I'm kind of an old head now. I'm like, no, you gotta know, like, there's Alyssa, there's Marissa, but like, how about Lisa? It's like, Alex White, like the people who like really like stepped up and like kept pushing things and literally are still doing the work. Like,
I mean, Alex White, I feel like will be around in skating forever.
That's also my board chair.
Shit. I want to interview her so bad.
You will.
That is my
shout out Leo. I think Alex is working with Leo in Tacky, and so Alex will be in town, so you should just hit her up.
It's a crazy name for a skate brand.
Tacky Skateboard?
Yeah.
I love it.
It's wild. When I saw it, I was like, oh, shit.
Leo is painting all those graphics themselves.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's really cool. So after the zine came out, I feel like you guys got a pretty good reaction. One, to the dunk because it looked amazing and it was really cool. And also the timing of that was good because dunks were still not at the peak, but they were still...
People were still interested. Yeah. I just think that, like... and skateboarding just was at a healthy place at the time, and then non-endemic, so not skateboarding brands, were also in a really healthy place.
Yeah,
and so
everyone was throwing money at skating at that point. That was like 20. What year was that?
2020 to 2023. We were thriving. We are not thriving.
Yeah,
right now.
No, because nobody has money. Other, like the post-Olympics boom has fallen off. All the people who got into skating during COVID. Probably not everyone, but most people.
I have this conversation a lot because I'm on calls with the homies who are in the industry, and I think what I love this as like a human being, but as a person who's like, oh, money comes and goes, and we need more money to be able to serve our community. So it's like that weird, like, I wouldn't call it dichotomy, but it's just like a weird battle in my brain. But when I was skating, my whole identity was skateboarding. Yeah, like I was like, I'm not going to do other stuff. Like even, like I wasn't that good, but I was like, I'm going to go travel to go skate. I'm going to go camping so I can go skate. I'm going to go to this premiere because I'm around skaters. I'm going to go to this art show because it's my friends who are skaters, like stuff like that. And I think what's cool, right? We're mature, we're adults now, is that younger people are more multidimensional now. So they're like, yeah, I skate and I'm a climber and I'm a this and I'm a that. We're like, a lot of our friends find that later in life. So my homies who are the happiest are the ones who like finally were like, I should like maybe try like cycling or something or like climbing. I don't know why. Those are the two things. Like climbing.
That is the pipeline to like, cycling. Skating to cycling is a pipe. There is a pipeline there.
A lot of hanging out, so it makes sense. Same with climbing. There's a lot of hanging out, but I think the one challenge is like most skaters don't really have upper body strength. But it's the same. It's very individual. So it's like, yes, you're with friends, but it's like me in that route. Same with cycling. It's like me in that route, me in that PR. But a lot of those folks that are in the industry or were the ones building it and marketing too. They're just marketing just to skaters, which works. But you got people who are now more multidimensional and like are interested in other things and like exploring other parts in their life or just becoming, I don't know, like more responsive. I don't know what it is. But
Thomas brought this up as well, like that you have to take the ER off of it. Like it's not skateboarder, like it's someone who skateboards, but they also model or they climb or they, I don't know.
They're in academics. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're a comedian as well. Like there's just so many other things where it's not just skateboarder, like you need, and obviously to make money as a brand, to make money as a nonprofit, like to get people interested, you need to branch out because also skateboarders are dicks and don't like anything new. Like me personally, I'm the same way.
Pants are $100, dude. Like
it's fucking crazy, dude. Like skate brands selling clothes for crazy money. You need other people outside of skating to be interested in it to keep the whole thing flowing. But there's a way to do it where it looks good, and there's a way to do it where it just comes off like you're just shilling out for other brands. But I don't know.
I think we also just forget that skateboarding is really, really young. Like it making money is not. It's a young industry. Like it's not even. It's not even 100 years old. Like
in terms of sports and other industries and stuff.
So but I also will say like skateboarding in a sense is the most progressive, like socially, like, or at least it's trying. Like the people I know who are still in the industry are trying, and like you don't see that in soccer that quickly, and maybe because there is so much history where skateboarding is still malleable in a sense. Like you have older, like I talked to like some of the OGs and they're like, yeah, like I was moving weird when I was young and now I don't want to, and I'm trying to do my best to like reprimand that. I'm like, great, like do it authentically, but like you're doing it. I'm not mad. Like,
no, it's like you brought up soccer, like FIFA, let's say, like the board of FIFA, that's like impenetrable. You know, like you can't change the way it's gonna be corrupt forever.
It's so weird.
The Women's World Cup is never gonna get paid the same amount as the men. Like it's just impenetrable. There's no way that is ever gonna change, in my opinion.
But like, why? For feelings? Like, the money's there. Like, money is not real. It's like, it's all about feeling. I'm like, why do you feel that way? Like, you're gonna wake up a hater? That's so weird. I wake up and I'm like, I have to go to work. I have to do my laundry. I want to go hang out with my friends. I'm not gonna say like I'm like the most positive person on the planet. And like, I'm not religious. I don't have like a faith when I like get up. But I'm like, you're gonna wake up and like be a hater. That's crazy. But like, you know what I'm saying? It's
Till
like,
I wake up every
why
day.
can it be penetrable? Like, why can it change?
Yeah.
Why?
But skating can and has, I think, like just in the short time that I worked for Jankum, like the years before I worked there were very different than the years I did work there.
Yeah.
Thrasher.
Yeah.
For however long was very different than it is now. Even I'm sure did you watch the Alexis Sablone?
Yeah.
And Burnett at the end is like, you know, he's owning up to some of the mistakes that Thrasher's made.
But that's the thing.
You would have never have seen that in 5-10 years ago. An editor of the biggest magazine being like, hey, we made a mistake by this. So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know, does he, I don't know, Burnett, does he mean it? Maybe. I'm sure. But, you know, it's still cool that he's owning up to the mistakes. And even Lance Mountain was like, yeah, we fucked up. Or it's like, what? Like, what? How did you get these old dudes to be like, hey, we were wrong?
Yeah.
Where else do you see old dudes owning up to their mistakes?
No, never. But I do think that
it's kind of crazy.
Like, it's so much in our skate culture to be really avoidant of stuff, like
like new things and change.
And that I'm not one for cancel culture, but I am one for accountability. Like when I lived in Portland, like I was not the only girl skating. Like I'm not saying that, but in my like general friend group, I was like one of the main women that were around socializing, hanging out, and a lot of my like I had normal friends, girlfriends who didn't skate, right? Who'd like come and party with me and like meet the boys, and we're all partying, having a good time, and like maybe like not random people, but like mutuals. I'm the one getting calls in the morning like, hey dude, like your friend was being creepy.
Yeah.
Or texting like, hey dude, and there was one person I had to call a few times, and the first time I'm like, hey, like this girl called me, like I love you, but I think when you drink, like it's bad, like maybe you should chill. Second time I'm like, listen, do you want to end up on slap? Like I don't know what to tell you. Third time, and they're like, I'm like, I'm done. Like if you end up getting canceled, like I did my best.
Yeah. And
I would try to go to my guy friends and be like, listen, like this is our friend, like this is happening. Like, oh no, dude, he would never. I'm like, and then I
like,
asked a question.
It is happening.
I was like, what if it happened to me? They're like, oh, we would, oh man, we would, like, and I'm like, but it's happening to someone. Like they're coming to me, and the girls weren't like they trusted me so much, and they're like, well, Sima, you're not responsible for these guys. I'm like, when you're a community, you're responsible for each other.
Yeah,
like,
everyone involved. Like
I wasn't like telling him like, you know, like wow, you're such a like fuck. Like I'm gonna go tell everyone that you suck. I'm like, I'm trying to call you and buffer you because you're young, and it seems like alcohol is the reason, you know? And like, that's where I'm like, people don't really like bridging. I think maybe that's why I have so much success, because I just try to bridge the gap. I'm not like, oh, like, you know, but I also get it. Like, I get why non-traditional skaters don't want to be around the dudes all the time, because it's like,
I don't want to be around the dudes all the time.
You know, it's like,
no, I get that. And I think, like you said, like, yeah, do you want to end up with a 30-page slap thread about how creepy you are, and then you bring down every brand you ride for, then they get called in, you know, then it's a whole thing when it could just be dealt with, you know, by you texting them and say, hey, dude, you're fucking up.
Yeah.
Get your shit together.
I will say, though, it's always the women and the non-trad skaters kind of standing up and doing that, which can get frustrating.
Yeah, that it's like put on you guys to be the ones to call everybody out.
Yeah, and like I remember 2020 in Seattle, there's like a whole list of people getting canceled.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm glad that people who are dangerous are getting called out, but then like there was no like the other side of it is if you're asking someone to change, then it's like are you giving them a chance to change, right? So it's like maybe that's just like a social thing in general, but especially in skateboarding, it's like a don't ask, don't tell. Like I don't know, like There's been so many pros I met in LA. And then the next thing I know, my friend's like, listen, this is what happened. Like, look at this screenshot of like, I'm like,
the worst thing you could.
Oh, man, but they were so nice. But then I'm like, oh, I don't, it sucks. Like,
that happened a few times where I'd be like a super fan of someone. And then you just see someone and you're like, oh, shit, man. Like, I met him at a skate event and he was super cool. And then, you see on Slap and you're like, oh.
Yeah, it's because the standard in the real world in skateboarding isn't, there's no accountability. Mm-hmm. But I also will say men socialize different than women. So y'all be doing weird shit. I don't know. I'm like, don't you want to tell your friend that you love him? He's like, I don't know. Yeah. I'm like, okay, for sure. No, I got really lucky with the guy friends I have.
Yeah.
Like James Sayers.
And only James.
Pro skater James Sayers.
No other Long Island skater that we're mutual friends with. Only James.
Oh my God. Mateo, please don't cry.
But I do think, there were a lot of instances like that where even we would interview people and we'd put up the interview and then we'd get DMs from someone and we'd have to take the interview down and explain to the person why it happened. Like,
yeah,
hey man, we're not running your interview because someone told us this. And then they would come at us at a weird way. And it was like, dude, we're not like exposing you. We're not like trying to bring you. We're just letting you know we don't want to work with you in this capacity because this happened. Yeah. You getting super angry at us is not doing you any justice. Like now we're happy to pull the piece. Now we're good. Now you made this decision very easy for us.
Yeah.
To not continue doing this.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's like the Eros internet is crazy. Like I would say I've had like a really interesting like behind the scenes look into just the normal skate life. Cause like at the end of the day, like I'm just a girl too. Yeah. Like I'm just like a straight feminine girl who like happens to be in skateboarding, but like was able to kind of navigate like the social scenes and just see these are my people. These are like, just normal, my homies, right? But
do you think it's getting better in skating in terms of like the relationships people have and like stuff, being now that there are more non-traditional skaters who are not just skating but who are making a name for themselves in the industry and stuff?
So I still think I think it's going to take another 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because it took that first 10. It's going to take another 10. I'm being honest, and it's okay. I think there's a lot of dudes who on the front are like, yeah, it's sick. But like, I've heard them be like, talk shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, like you're sad. Like what? Like this is so weird. But I get it. Whatever. Like, I do think that, I don't know. I think it's going to take time still.
Yeah. It's also skateboarding isn't. I read this in an interview that you did for the zine. Like you had said skateboarding isn't in a vacuum. It's a part of the world. And is that getting better in the world? Probably not. Maybe a little bit. I do
think that people... Okay, so again, 10 years ago, a lot of my homies that skated their whole life with skateboarding, they were anxious. They had anxiety. Some of them finally like maybe went to college because they felt like it, started hanging out with different people, maybe started dating girls that like had different friend groups, or started having different friends, so their own world opened up. And like I always was like in that interview too, I was like, skaters are not like just skaters, like you are a part of this world, and like but in a way of like not like threatening you, but like you should be empowered in that, like you want a certain skate park in your city, like go to City Hall. That's happening more now though. So I do think there's a shift, and it's with that like millennial kind of age group and like older, like that kind of OG. A lot of the ones who have been in the industry that like own the shops, have been on the brand marketing, they themselves are exploring different areas in life, which I think is making it easier for them to be more empowered to feel part of their community or feel part of politics. Because like skaters and even like punk rockers, like, well, not punk rockers, because like a lot of them are politically like charged, but like a lot of skaters like, well, I'm just a skater, dude, I just skate, like I don't care. I'm like, okay.
Oh, well, a lot of that affects skating. Like, do you not understand why board prices are rising, or why you can't skate like, certain areas? Well,
it's also in like, why aren't there like more like colored, like even just colored people in skateboarding, but like even colored dudes? Like, I've talked to a lot of the homies that like, are like black and brown skaters, and they're like, okay, it's still bad.
Yeah, I think Neftali Williams, I got to interview him one time, and it was very cool, like the way he put it. He was just like, it's not that, like, sure, Tyshawn like won 2 Sodies.
Yeah.
Maybe the highest paid skater there is, but that doesn't mean like everyone down the line still isn't facing
still working
the same
10 times as hard.
Yeah, they're not facing the same problems just because there are a few like black and brown skaters who are excelling. You know? Like there's still a whole world of younger black and brown skaters who are going to face the same old heads who work at whatever company who don't want to hook them up because they have some prejudice or whatever. You know,
I will say, like, I think in anything, like there needs to be like turnover in leadership. Mm-hmm. And there's been people in the same brands for decades.
I think Thomas and I had talked about I think it was either on camera or off camera, just the age of people who work in skating make it more difficult for it to change, obviously, but I can't imagine any of the younger people I know in skating who would want to work in skating in that capacity, you know? Like, I don't even know what running a brand would entail these days, whereas these guys have been doing it for 30 something years and they're never giving up their seat or their company will never go under. But there are guys like Jim Thiebaud who's done incredible things, who's changed the way he's run companies and who he supports.
He shows up. So cool. He's not on Instagram. Like, he is posting about it here and there, but like he's just there. I'm just telling, like, he's there. Like, I see him there.
Everywhere.
Like, he's there and he's everywhere.
So talking about working in skating, what would you say some of like the best parts of it are and some of like the worst parts of it? Because I know it's not all. Yeah. When people used to hear that I worked for a skate magazine, oh, it's probably amazing. Yeah. Sure, there were great parts, but there were also parts that I fucking hated and that pushed me away from it. So
yeah, I'll clarify. Like, I work, like, the vehicle of my job is skateboarding, but like I'm still a nonprofit, so I'm still like having to raise money and like help write grants and like do the day-to-day grueling nonprofit stuff. But throughout my whole career of like, because I was interviewed by a high schooler last week. They're like, what are the steps that you took to get into skateboarding? I was like, I don't know. Talk a lot to people, be a yapper. The best part, let's just say, like, over like all the careers, not just like a girl, and like being in skateboarding and working and having that kind of notoriety, I guess, is like definitely traveling and meeting people and having a community. Mm-hmm. So it's like no matter where I go, whatever city, there's a connection. And if you're a skater, you're hanging out. Like, I don't know what other, what other like world is like that. Like,
no, there's not many subcultures left.
No, it's like music in the world, and maybe art, and then skateboarding.
But again, out of those three, like music, even like hardcore music or whatever, it's becoming super like commercialized. It's getting
don't get me started.
No, and
I'm a basement girl from Seattle watching Gag. It's like hard to. I went to the Turnstile show under the K Bridge, and I asked my friend, could we leave soon, because I felt like I was gonna get trampled, which is crazy because I can hold my own. Like, I got kicked in the head last weekend, and I was like, I'm fine.
But yeah, skating, I think, is like, I don't want to like oversell it, but it's like one of the last true kind of subcultures there is in America, and it's kind of crazy. Obviously it's very commercial. The Olympics is involved.
Yeah,
skaters are getting free Toyota Tacomas for appearing at the Olympics and shit, whatever. But
stuff like that was happening at SLS too, though,
yeah,
right? Like,
exactly. So it is what it is, but I do think there is still like what used to be a subculture. There is still some roots in skating in that. So like, you can go anywhere and just meet 10 people that are cool, that you're like, all right, cool. Like, now I can hang out with you for a day and then go on my trip. And,
exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah, the worst part about working in skateboarding is how volatile the industry is. I also do think, I will say, like, now that I'm about to turn 30, like, I've put myself in a box for a long time, and now I'm like, what if I didn't work in skateboarding anymore? Mm-hmm. Like, what would that look like? Would my identity change? Would people see me differently? Like, does that make you went through that?
Dude, I had a big identity crisis. I went from working on it every day, being everywhere, being in videos. Like I did the shop talk videos where like my face was just there. Yeah. Like people were seeing me.
Yeah.
So then, now I'm unclogging drain lines at an airport all day, or like pulling shit out of the bottom of a toilet. I had a huge like identity crisis. I was like, what am I now without skating? But
there's a freedom to it though, a little bit.
Yeah, and at the same time too, like skating became more fun. I wasn't worried about anything anymore. Like I started skating with John and Jackie and everyone way more. Like it was more like friend focused and like what I liked about skating to begin with when I was younger and stuff. But it did take a minute for me to like adjust my mindset to be like, you could do other stuff.
That stuff
you could excel in other things, in other fields. You could learn. I'm learning a whole new trade, you know, like it was where it was upsetting. It was also kind of like empowering in the same aspect. Do I miss it? Sure. I miss working for Jenkem all the time, or working in skating, but I also like what I do now, and I have money and stuff like that, you know, like I have health insurance, which is fucking awesome.
I will say though, like at the end of the day, like it's like, this is like where the mid ground goes, you know, the bad and the good of skateboarding. It's like, it's not about how cool you are, like at all. Like it's really about like who you are to other people. Like even if I did stop working in skateboarding, I knew I could call, like, but the thing is like, it's a trust between people. Like you hit me up and I was like, oh, I know who he is through other people. Like I'm super down. So I think that's also, maybe that is like the coolest part of skateboarding, is that you can have that face to face with people. Like when I send partnership emails, like I do trust that like a lot of the reason why people maybe say yes so quickly is not just because of the amazing work that Skate Like a Girl does, but it's because, Sima, when I worked with her last year, she, sent me a deliverable. Like I remember like I talk with Jerome at Thrasher all the time, and I've never met him because he's in SF, and like even when I'm in SF, I just mostly go to Deluxe and chill there, and then like I have to work, so I'm not like able to like socialize. But I was in Toronto randomly, and all the Adidas team was there, and like Gabbers was there, and my friend Joey that works for Adidas, and I was like, I'm gonna come hang out, I'll be the girl that's just sitting on the edge, like whatever. And they're like, yeah, that's Jerome. I'm like, Jerome? I was like, Jerome, it's Like, oh dude, it was so nice meeting you. Like so you got to give it to yourself too, that I think people are down also because of like who you were at the time that you worked. For
sure. And I had friends who I got to work with on Jenkem stuff who weren't necessarily like Jenkem fans. Yeah. Maybe they didn't like it, but because I was working on the project with them, they would do it. Yeah. And that was cool. And then I had similar things where like when I would go out to LA, I would meet someone who I had emailed 1,000 times, and then I see them in person, and it's like, I know you're really cool. It was very cool. Meeting those kind of people was always sick. Like photographers, there's only so many photographers out there where like you do interviews, you need the photos. I'm hit up, I don't know, fucking Alex Papke like 30 times. And then I did get to meet him one time, and it was very cool. Like it was very nice. I was like, all right, cool. Or like really Matt Price.
Yeah, Matt's best.
I met him one time after emailing him a bunch, and I was like, oh, it's like my favorite guy in the skate industry. To this day, Matt Price is my favorite person in the industry that I've ever met. Yeah. He was the coolest.
Shout out Matt Price.
Cool over email, cool in person. We drank on the CCS card when he still had it. It was fucking awesome. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
But that part was, the social aspect of it was cool. The work aspect of it is still work. Like no matter what, whether it's writing shit or filling out grants, writing grant request, or what are those called, the grant proposals or whatever,
the LOIs,
dude fuck that. Like,
just gotta know
that's still work. Like no matter if it's writing to get something cool for, it's still, you still have to put a bunch of work into it. You're still they might say no after you just worked on it for fucking however long, you know, that it's still work, and it sucks at the end of the day because work always sucks no matter what you're doing. But before we wrap up, I just wanted to ask a few questions about some other nonprofits in skating and stuff. Do you think there are too many?
No, not at all. I think you have to think about like nonprofit. It always has a mission, if you're doing it right, I guess. And so everyone's mission is a little different. Mm-hmm. So our mission has 3 pillars to it. We've also been around for 25 years. So I was mentoring a lot of like grassroots nonprofit, and some of the folks are like, well, should we get 501c3 status? I was like, no, like you just want to do meetups and keep it chill because you don't know if you want to make skateboarding your whole freaking life. Then get an LLC so you can write off business stuff, and then you're good to go. And then you can dissolve the business, and both of you can, if you have money, you can like, split it. But like I said, like everyone, like I tell people, don't compare yourself to like Skate Like a Girl, or even like what's it called, the Skate Park Project, because they've been around for a long time. They have different backings too, but their whole mission right now, or has been, like building skate parks. So that's like very focused. And then maybe there's like, it was really cool at Slow Impact, and I'm not going to remember off the top of my head, but I did meet a bunch of folks on the East Coast that had like really cool little nonprofits, but they were just for their small community. No, there's not enough actually. I don't think. I really don't think so. Especially if you're trying to focus on a certain neighborhood and community to bring just skateboarding programs in, so that you can like give an opportunity to someone who doesn't like traditional sports. Like I hated sports. I played varsity lacrosse for 3 years. That sucks. Like I hate running, but like in a traditional public school space, like there's not a lot of opportunities for non-trad athletes per se to like have a pipeline to college or have options, because it's all just like, oh, you either get a scholarship through sports or you are in an arts program, like, but like how about the kids who like don't care about that stuff, right? So I don't think there's enough. There's just bigger ones, but we all have different missions. Like,
so what are the 3 pillars to Skate Like a Girl?
Leadership, confidence, and social justice.
Hell yeah. And like when you're, let's say you want to do something new, like a new project or whatever, like you guys are keeping those 3 kind of front and center on whatever project you're working on.
So even with like the Spitfire wheel and stuff, or any of our brand collabs or working with brands, like we got really lucky that a lot of brands let us do our thing. But if we are like putting together marketing materials, like are we highlighting people in our community directly? Is our marketing materials like gonna help someone want to skate? Like not this wheel, the inside is gonna look a little different, but because this is our 5th wheel. What
kind of wheel is it? Do you know?
The 94, I think.
All right, cool.
99s. Dude, I'm like juggling so much. But our last wheel is in the insert, like when you open up, like we did a whole thing about like allyship. So when people bought our wheels, like, this wheel's cool. They can buy it if you just like think it's sick, like of course. But then they would open it and there's an educational piece. That is how, like that's how we brought it back to our mission, because we were at the end of the day of the nonprofit. We're not a brand, but a lot of people think we're a brand, which is okay. Like we have branding, but like
but it's different than like, I don't know. Like Skate Like a Girl is different than Deluxe or one of the brands under the Deluxe umbrella, whatever. Like you guys are different than there. It's 100% a different game.
We're not for profit. Like, we're like, like we grew a lot, but like, man, like I'm Giving Tuesdays on December 2nd, and we've been struggling. Like the federal funding cuts have been crazy. Like our friends at companies are like, we can't even give you $1 right now. It's not us, it's them. Like a lot of tariffs have fucked up companies, and people are like shutting down. And like,
does the shutdown kind of fuck up federal funding for you guys?
I mean, it's the federal funding cuts happened when Trump got in office, so it's already been really bad.
So it doesn't even.
And then also now because of the federal cuts, like when we try to get grants, like they're more competitive, so we've seen more no's. And because we're doing more, we have more programs, we have more staff that we're serving, we have more scholarships to give out, we're spending more, we're not making as much. So
that's kind of what I figured in terms of like, even with like CSEF, like they give out.
Also, CSEF's stunning because they're all volunteers.
It's crazy.
They don't have overhead cost.
But even still, like whatever money they got in was just gone. Because they gave it away. Like, that's crazy. They got, I'm going to butcher it, but I think it was like $70,000 in scholarships this past year. That's crazy to just have $70,000 from all the fundraising and all, all the grants and stuff. And then it's just gone.
Well, businesses, they either are public or not, right? And nonprofits are all public, so you can go look at it in our 990 and you'll see our budgets is like $1 million. You're like, whoa, $1 million. One, it's 3 chapters, and we spend it all because we have to. It's nonprofit. Like, there's no money sitting. There's not supposed to be any money sitting.
So let me ask you, and you could answer this or not. Like, is that what you do full time for a living? Like, or do you have other stuff on the side that you have to do? All right. Yeah.
I'm a chief operating officer for another nonprofit.
All right.
I just don't make enough money to live in New York City.
Yeah, no, I don't think Cole and I talked about this as well. Like, if you're able to just make a living off of just skateboarding, that's like insane. You are part of like the 1% of people in the world. Like, working for Jenkem, I either worked at a cafe, skate shop,
or you're part of that era in LA that like the Costin era.
Yeah, where
they like were like making movies and now live in mansions. I remember when I lived in LA, like I randomly I think I ended up at like Alex Midler's house, and I was like in like I don't remember where, but I was like, I want to go home. Yeah, I'm bored.
Those and
they're really nice. Like everyone's really nice, but I was like, this is like opulence. That's why I love New York. I love all my homies in New York that are pro skaters because they still have to go do laundry.
Wealth in LA is different than wealth in New York.
Yeah.
It shows on the people a little more in LA too. Like,
they're really nice. I adore them. But it's just, I was like, wow, your driveway has grass in it. Okay, for sure.
Like, I think seeing older pros who are super well off is crazy to me, because then I see the old pros in New York that I love Bobby Puglio, huge fan, loved his skating. He's a little crazy, but big fan. When I moved to New York, he was like delivering pizza, and it's crazy because he has like a cult following. But someone like Eric Costin, who now pretty much everybody hates.
He's a business guy.
Not hates, but he's kind of a cornball. He'll live forever with this insane wealth.
Well, he was a
wearing his fucking 3D printed Harmony Korine mask at football games like a clown.
Yeah.
And going to the Church of Scientology.
Is that even confirmed?
That's confirmed in my mind.
Yeah.
Put it on the record. I'm going to get like sued by Steve Barra for that. No, I think that the generations of wealth in skating are kind of crazy, and now we're seeing in our generation, no one is going to have that unless you're, the top tier skaters, the Alex Midlers, the Monster Riders.
I will say though, that's a sort of freedom that like a lot of the skaters now are going to school or doing trades or art, like full-time artists, like, like I'm, even like Max and Cyrus and stuff who are like some of like my homies out here. I'm like, you guys are kind of good. Like, you did the school thing and like you worked before. So like, I think it's also a freedom because a lot of pros, you get to a certain age, you're like, what do I do now?
Yeah. I think seeing skaters who I know just got off of work and then going to film a part.
But they seem a lot happier a little bit. Not like super happy because they're probably like, I'm really tired. But I think their life is so much more balanced and they have all types of friends. And maybe they're artists so they're able to produce that, or like their identity is also an artist and not just a skater. And I think, people just don't want to be boxed in anymore, which I think is sick,
I think that's what kind of drew me to a lot of like doing a lot of the interviews that I had done for Jenkem. Like I would always try to pick people out who had another job or who were working at a skate shop as well as being like a pro. Like, when I interviewed Marissa Del Santo, it was super sick because she wasn't in skating anymore at all. She had totally moved on to, her clothing thing, selling all vintage shit. And it was just cool to talk about like, all right, you made no money from skating. You broke your whole body doing this. Like, you fucked up your foot or your ankle.
Yeah.
And now you just had to get another job. But she was able to pivot. There are definitely people who aren't able to. And I think that kind of sucks because there's no backing in the industry to do it. And a long time ago, I had reached out to Peter Beachy to interview him. Super interested because he's a firefighter. My dad was a firefighter.
Yeah.
I was like, hell yeah, dude. But he kind of didn't want to talk about that. He was more interested in this piece I wrote about skateboarding unions.
Yeah.
And he was like, he had this plan. I don't think anything ever came of it, whatever. But it was like almost schooling for skateboarders to prep them for life after skating because
Casper, that does ASICs and
SFK, he used to do Nike, right?
Yeah, he was trying to do that at Nike, and he gives those opportunities to people now. Like seeing him move, like I was on a call with him yesterday, and I was like, listen, I love being your homie, and I love also like working with you and like he's always down to say yes.
Mm-hmm.
If I need a contact, he's like, yes. Or he wants a conversation, like down to mentor. Like, it's sick to see those people that like have those opportunities, give them away too. And like, yeah, having a trust like that is so cool. Like,
yeah, it would be cool to see something like industry backed, like skate industry backed, where it was prepping people for.
I think
but
the thing
I
though
understand.
is like a lot of people that are in the industry now who've been in it like found themselves in it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They're like, I just happened to be skating, and then I knew how to write an email, and I knew how to like ideate and market, and then all of a sudden I'm like the director. Yeah.
And they've been there for 15,
Ever,
20 years, and they probably will be another.
I think it's
15.
just a mentorship thing. It's same with this like photographers and videographers. There's not as many, and I'm just like, why aren't you mentoring other younger people? But I also get it because there's so many little slots. So what are you gonna do? Like not feed your family?
Yeah. Because
you want to be like a good person.
you're giving the keys away to someone else who could swoop in and take your job. You need to protect your job, but
yeah,
that's kind of the interns at Jankum when I was there were Wilson, Ben, and this kid Wes.
Well, Ben works too.
Ben is Ben has another job for sure. Ben is the man.
I love Ben.
Huge fan. But when I was leaving, I was super jaded on everything. Like video, we'd get sent videos. I'd be like, this shit sucks. And it's great. It was probably a great video, but I was just so over it. I was like, oh, another Burn song in a fucking skate video. I'm good, man. They were hyped on everything. And I was like, why am I the one getting paid to do this when I hate it all?
Yeah.
And these kids love it. Yeah. I was like, you know, I when I was leaving, I told them, I was like, hey, I'm leaving. Make sure if you're going to keep working, you're getting paid for this because you guys deserve it. You guys are hyped on skating.
Yeah.
Better writers than I was for sure. Ben is an amazing writer. Wilson's a great designer, graphics guy. So I was like, you guys should be doing this, not me. I hate everything that I've seen in the past week. Like, I was so burnt on it. And I don't think that happens all the time. And I understand why it doesn't. Yeah. If you've been working in the industry 20 years and you're jaded, you're like, well, I'm just going to keep doing it. I was only in it for 5 years. So it was easy for me to be like, all right, so yeah. But I do understand why there isn't like a huge push to kind of mentor everybody. But some mentors are out there.
I'm down to mentor. Like, I've been in it for 10 years. So I'm like, whoever wants to learn how to schmooze and make friends, I'm super down. Like,
and just a few more questions for you. Yeah. Let's say you do move on from Skate Like a Girl, or, you know, take a step back. What would be like your ideal job outside of skating?
Probably just like being a project manager at like a creative agency, so I can help get things into life and just have one role, which is because I wear like 5 hats right now. So like just have like one hat and maybe a cap, I don't know, whatever. But where I'm just helping, because the thing is, like, before I worked for Skate Girl full time, I was like in school snowboarding, because I'm like in Oregon, so I was like snowboarding the whole year, skating all summer, in school also working. Like, I did a million things, and I still was able to community events and put my friends out and like stuff like that, where like now I'm working all the time that I don't want to be around it anymore. I want to like go to the bar, or like go hang out, or like go on a trip. So ideally what happens is I make more money that I can also give back, not only my time but monetarily too. I feel like, I'm donating to CSF, here's a G. You know, I'm donating to Skate Girl, he's a G, like, because I can. You know, and like I'll volunteer my time. Like, I will, whatever you want to know, like I'll let you know what I learned, right? Like, mentor, like really do that. Like, that would be so cool. And like get more in the art world a little bit too, because I take photos and I want to put a book together. I just like don't have the time to do that, because I work 10 to 12 hour days sometimes between my 2 jobs too, and they're both nonprofit. And I'm like, I just want to be kind of like a degenerate right now. Like, I don't want to be responsible. There's this meme that I like sent my friend. It's like, your most unserious friends have the most like serious jobs. They're like, Sima, what do you do? I'm like, yeah, I run a whole nonprofit, like for my other job. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah. They're like, but I saw you. I'm like, don't talk about it last night. It's fine.
That was last night me. Today I'm working.
Exactly.
But yeah, I didn't want to finish this off without talking about your photography and stuff. So
yeah, synopsis, I guess I'm a photographer. I would call myself that now. I started doing digital photography when I was like 12 or 13. I don't know why. I think I just liked it, or maybe I was like getting to snowboarding. I want to take photos of my friends, or like I think back in middle school, like girls were just like having photo shoots and it was fun. So I had like a Nikon D3000 and I got kind of good. In high school, I took everyone's senior photos. Basically, I got hired and that's how I paid gas money and other stuff, you know. And then I started doing skate photography and digital, but then my dad gave me his Chinon Genesis, a film camera, and I was like, this is way more fun. So I switched to film around 16 years old. So I've just been doing film and I have so many photos over the 11 years that I think I'm going to try to put a book together because I have a lot of like Northwest, like kind of like behind the scenes. I have a photo of like, I became friends with Jaws or, you know, Aaron when I was in Portland at a CCS thing. Leo Romero was playing with some of his first Travis Suro shows. And I just ended up at that bar with my friends because I was in skateboarding. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go to whatever the skate stuff is. And I was like, oh my God, is that Jaws? Like, what the hell? And I was like, oh, whatever. And then all these girls, I'm not friends with them anymore, but they're really sweet, but they're like party girls and they're skaters too, but they're like, oh my God, like started like flirting with like the whole crew. I think like Corey Glick was there. Like they're on a trip for Bro Style at the time.
Right, yeah.
And anyway, so I'm like chilling. I'm like talking to Aaron and he goes up to my friend at the like, and she like in the bathroom, I was like, your friend's really chill. And I was like, I think it's because I'm not trying to flirt with any of you. Because I was talking to Glick and I was like, oh, you guys were in Seattle? Like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, dude, like, did you go to like the federal ledges? He's like, how do you know about this? And I'm like, I'm not just wearing this independent thing for no reason.
Like, what do you mean? It's a spot in the city.
But I told him like I work in skateboarding or whatever. And then, but I have a photo of him and Heath Kirchard.
Oh,
and it's
that's
so
cool.
cute. And like Heath is like smiling.
That's wild.
Like a little bit. And I was like, so I have all these weird photos and like my time in New York has been amazing. I have so many photos from that. Just like feel good. Like I love homie videos so much. Mm-hmm. Like I don't really watch a lot of the big brand videos. I mean, I do, but like,
no,
I love
shop videos, homie videos, independent videos.
Yeah, when I was in LA, I was missing New York so much, and you know Sam Chrome Zone. I was like, I didn't know who he was, but I knew he was in my my Greenpoint friend group or something. And I watched the video. I was like, this was so sick. And then I met him here, and I was like, you're the guy behind Chrome Zone. He's like, yeah. I'm like, I love it. He's like, what the fuck? But same with. Did you ever watch Nightmare or like? Instrument by Nightmare Skateboards or out of Nashville? They only ever put one out, but that's
it's
like
good.
Yeah, that's all like right, the video. Like, this is so bad. I'm putting myself out there, but if I'm like seeing someone who's a skater, which happens often, I'm like, we have to watch this video. And they're like, what? And it's like, we get back from the bars, I'm like, we have to watch this video. And if they don't like that, I'm like, you're not
that's like your gauge on if they're cool or not.
It's a really good video. It's like a bunch of jits from Nashville, but like, you know, they're like ACAB, but like the theme is good. Like, cause like skate videos are so they're so kinetic. So if you don't have good B-roll, I'm getting a headache. One of the Supreme videos, I almost got motion sickness from. But like, you know, it's like so like, you know, it's moving.
Was it Candyland?
Music. It was Stallion.
Oh, okay.
I actually stayed at the 26 Park House for a month. I subletted it. And it would be like Marcus in the back, like smoking a spliff at 9 a.m. And like Hirsch was there and who I love and Duncan. And it was great. I'll never live in a skate house ever again in my life. But there was one time we like watched Stallion in the beginning and I was like, I have to stop watching this. Like my eye, I'm getting motion sickness. But yeah. Yeah, you should watch. You should definitely watch Instrument.
Oh, for sure. I think that's like the era of skating I kind of grew up in too, was where sure, big videos would come out every once in a while, and they were great. Yeah, like formative for me. Stay Gold, seeing that for the first time. Oh my God,
my ex-boyfriend made me watch the B-sides of that.
Yeah, the B-sides are the best. Bad. That's awesome.
And I was like, oh my God, wait, Figgy's cute.
But like, there were so many independent videos at that time coming out, like Boyish, Happy Medium. Speaking of like Jaws and stuff, like those videos were great. There was like the Rich Mahogany videos in New York. There were just so many good independent videos that formed kind of like what me and my friends were doing at the time.
They're more relatable. Too. You're like, wait, me and my friends, like, it's like the B-roll's like people at like the river or whatever, right? Hanging out, like hugging each other or like loving each other. And you're like, wait, me and my friends were like, the brand videos are like, but would they're needed though, because they're like,
I still watch almost every big video that comes out, but the videos I rewatch are like the videos that my friends are in, or that my friends made, or that I know someone tangentially through it, like
James Harris, pro skater.
James Harris, pro skateboarder. Check out his new board with Season Skate Shops.
He's like, I'm not. Wait, he's like, I hate when you do that. I'm like, your name's literally on a board.
He's a pro skater.
He's a pro skater.
Come on. His name is on a board all the time. It's not like it's a one-off where he just had one board. It's like all the time his name is on. You could go to a skate shop and find his name on the board.
I want you to make an edit that's just me talking about James Sayers.
That's it, just a James cut.
James Sayers, #1 sweetheart.
But that's why I know James, so I'm a little biased, but like seeing his footage and then knowing that he also works a full-time job and is busting his ass, and then I see the effort he puts in to get a trick, like it's crazy. That's so much cooler than seeing a guy who makes a couple $100,000 a year because they cash a monster check and then put out a bunch of cool footage.
More relatable.
Like, yeah.
And then, honestly, soundtrack is way better.
Oh, independent videos always have a better soundtrack than like a brand video. Yeah. And, no shade to people who are in the monster videos and stuff like that, but
we love Fabi and Ruby. Don't get twisted.
Huge Fabi fan.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story later.
Yeah.
Huge Fabi fan. But am I going to rewatch the monster video? No.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. I can't in good conscience. If I have time to sit down to watch a skate video, I can't give Monster Energy the view. I'd rather give it to fucking, I don't know, watch one of John's videos or my buddy Tristan. I'll rewatch his videos all the time.
Yep.
It's just something about the independent feel to it, which I think brings it back to like why I like zines, why I like the DIY aspect of skating. We're going to interview someone who made a bunch of DIY parks on Long Island.
Yeah.
Like I can't wait, because to me that's like what skating is. It's not Monster Energy.
Oh.
But sure, people get paid. It's
My
great.
favorite part is when a city sees a DIY and they're like, well, we'll build a skate park now. And I'm like,
yeah,
I think that's happening in Portland. Shout out Vince Lee. He did Creston DIY. Like,
oh, dude, that park is
him and a bunch of people. Like, I remember helping, like, even ripping some of the fiberglass off. That was 2021, and they put a lot of work in it.
One of the coolest DIYs.
But the city's like, well, we'll build a park, and I'm like, for sure,
because they see it. They're like, oh, people go to these things.
Yeah.
It's a community thing. Why not actually build a real one instead of? But still, I like skating a DIY more than I like skating a skate park.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, if they built a park at Mosquito Beach, I probably wouldn't go skate it. But the DIY, sure, I'll go skate it and eat shit nonstop every time.
For sure.
But, dude, thank you so much for being on the show. That was awesome. Cheers. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Where can people find your work or stuff you're working on?
You can find me on LinkedIn because I'm at that age at Sima S.Bayat. My Instagram goes in and out of private and public all the time because I don't care for people following me, but you can, like, you know what I'm saying? But it's at Schema, like the Beanie Man song.
I know. Every time I kept trying to like come up with questions for you, I'd be like, oh, let me look at her Instagram, and it would just be gone. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Where is
I
this
just
Instagram?
like getting to a point where it gives me anxiety now. And like I've had the same amount of followers for like 10 years, which is perfect. So I'm good. I don't want anyone to know.
Yeah, you don't need any more.
Yeah.
Don't need
when there's like new people. Oh, this has happened often when I was private. Like new people that we had mutuals with, or like I have mutuals with them or whatever. They're like skaters, like randomly would follow me, and I would screenshot it and like send it to JD and be like, who is this? Like, is this man gonna like be in my DMs? Like, is he like cool? Like, I'm scared. Like, it's a DM part that scares me a lot.
And where can people find the new wheel that's coming out? Is that gonna be
in all
everywhere?
shops? Tenant, Labor, I think they're buying. Yeah, they're buying them. They always do. Yeah, we're doing a launch. If you are a watcher, if you are a viewer in SF 11/4/13, we're doing a launch at Deluxe Skate Shop. But
so you're going back out to California?
I'm going back.
Damn,
yeah.
Bi-coastal. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
this is awesome.